So instead of picking up the phone and saying, this is what I do, you pick up the phone and say, hello, I'm Nikki Bonfanti. I wonder if you can help me. First question. Does that sound a bit nicer? We've all got a natural tendency to help each other, so already that's a step forward. I wonder if you can help me. It also gives them the let out that maybe they're not the right person, but they could, and they might be willing to tell you who the right person is. So, okay, I'm Nikki Bonfanti. I wonder if you can help me. Is there anyone in your company who has real problems closing down sales or getting clients to say yes? So already you're going straight into the problem. Is this the kind of thing you do, Anne? Yeah. You go straight to the problem rather than any solutions, because solutions means that you are trying to sell. If you go into the problems, you're trying to have a conversation. You're engaging in a two-way conversation with somebody, and already they might be open. They might think, that's interesting. Yeah, we are having a few problems with that. Who's this? I wonder what they're talking about. Already you're opening their mind rather than closing it down. So that's why I would say that questions really help. And to really get to the nugget of what it is that you do, the thing you need to think about with your company is, what problems do companies and organisations have that your company or your services, your products, have the solution for? And I would say that's the first question you put down under questions for yourself, is what products or what problems do organisations have that your services, your products, have answers for, solutions for? If you can't think of it right now, at least write down the question to think about later. Probably, if you've been in business a while, you're quite aware of what the issues are that you resolve. Would anyone like to share what they do and what problems they serve? Anyone other than Anne? Okay, yes.
I simplify the mortgage process. Lenders are ridiculously pedantic over underwriting, and I simplify that process in applying for mortgages for clients.
Okay, you're talking about yourself and what the solution is. You mentioned the problem in the middle there. So the problem bit is the bit you really focus on, yeah? So when you're talking to people. So rather than say, I do this, I do that, when you have one-to-ones with people, if they talk about themselves all the time without asking questions, you might get them to switch off. But your middle bit, that was the bit that you really focus on. So how would you say that differently with the middle bit as the problem?
People find the whole process of dealing with lenders, with how pedantic they are in their underwriting, very off-putting, so they come to me for advice because I can provide solutions which simplify that process.
Okay, you can't get away from those solutions, can you? But if I was to cut you off in the middle there and make it into a question and say, have you ever found that legal people, solicitors, are really pedantic and it really takes up a lot of time and you don't really know how to get through the quagmire of their language, that kind of thing? If you were opening with that, I think you'd get a lot more people saying, yes, actually, yes, tell me your solution. So rather than going straight in with the solution. So that's one thing about questions that I think is quite good. When I was young, I was very shy, and I learnt that it was much easier to make friends by being a good listener. I just came across this. I would ask people questions, and they would go on and on and on, and I would listen. And then they would say, thank you for the conversation. And I transferred this when I went to Italy to live. I went to Italy quite a young age. And all I knew was ciao, bella, pasta, all those usual words. I didn't speak Italian. But I learned how to say where, when, who, why, what, dove, quando, chi, quanto, all those kind of words. And I also learned a really useful word, if you're ever going to Italy, davvero. Davvero, which means really. Do you know it? Yeah, really. So it means really, really. So I would meet new people and I would ask them, cosa fai per lavoro? What do you do for work? Or what's your job? And they would go on and on and on and on. And I would go, davvero, davvero. And at the end of it, they say, ma come parli bene? How brilliant Italian you speak. Because they thought we had a fantastic two-way conversation. And I would make friends and the people would think my Italian was fantastic. But it was just simple question words. That was all it was, to get people to listen and to show that you were listening. And also, when I was in Italy, I fell into my first sales job. And I wasn't given any sales training, which I think has made me really successful. because I wasn't taught all the spin and all those. I wasn't taught any of that, which is, they're all questions, they're all good questions, but you're so focused on the next question that you don't listen. And that whole other part of questions is the listening, and that is such a great skill to have. So when I first got my job, I had to learn all these different products. And most people who were in similar jobs to me stayed in the office for 4, 5, 6 weeks learning all the products before they went out to meet the clients. But I got bored with that. I didn't want to stay in the office. So I would go out to the clients and say, what do you use these products for? Which ones do you like the best? How could you improve this? And I learnt more faster about the products just by talking to the clients. So that brings me to the second question on your sheet, that if you're not clear about the problems that your services resolve, or if you want to know more about them, ask your current clients. That's such a great way to keep them in the loop, to help retain your clients, is to just give them a ring from time to time and saying, do you remember before you used my services what your problems were and now where they are? That way you can get testimonials out of it as well. And you're also learning more. There may be other issues why they use your services that you didn't even know about. And you can plug all that back into your marketing. You can plug that back into the sales calls and the networking that you do with new clients, all just by asking the questions.